ılıll.
Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla 2014 will be standing at slightly over 6 inches tall. Oh yeah, he is shorty alright. And once again, Hiya sent me this figure as a review sample for this here video. They are the reason this video exists, so thank you so much, Hiya. And I gotta send a loving thank you out to my latest patron, ETZilla666. Thank you so much for becoming a Shinrobjira patron, fam. But now, Godzilla. He's a gorgeous little son of a gun, isn't he? Alright, let's get deep real quick. The dorsal fins are nice and jaggedy. They're sharp looking, but they're not exactly sharp to the touch. Yeah, these things will bend if you put pressure on them, but the further down you go, the more solid they get. And as per usual, the dorsal fins on the neck are going to be a nice soft rubber, just like the pieces themselves. The dorsal fins moving into Godzilla's tail are going to mostly be solid pieces. Some of them will have give, just like the dorsal fins on Godzilla's back. And it will ultimately remain that way as we move into the tip of the tail. No, this isn't bendy wire, it's just a very soft piece that got a bit warped during shipping. Bendy wire would have been cool. Moving into Godzilla's elephantine feet, which caused the great Godzilla 2014 foot wars. It's nice to see these feet back. And I think they look rather grand. I do feel like his toes were a bit closer together in the movie, but it's been a while. Yeah. So from the feet, moving into the shins, the kneecap, and the thighs, we're going to get a lot of color variation going on here. Going to get this whitish gray tan looking color. And the fall off from the shins to the feet is a bit much, but moving into the knee, we're going to get more of that tan. Moving into the thigh, we're going to get more of that tan. And I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it. I'll try and do a saturation shot over here. But there is going to be a mixture of that greenish blue that we saw on the NECA Godzilla 2014 figures. And thankfully, we are going to be gifted with that on the opposite thigh as well. The variation of paint in between all of the bumps and grooves and armor-plated looking skin is going to be rather loud on this figure. Granted, it's been like that in the past, but I just noticed it a bit more this time. That's all. I can, however, take back some of my comments about the fall off of paint from shin to foot, because on the inside of the thigh, they very much do match. Dirtier, rustier colors, there we go. Same with the opposing side. Looking at Godzilla's crotch pits though, we are going to get that underbelly color, but we're also going to get an assortment of browns and tans and rusty colors. It's a bit heavy-handed over here and a little less heavy-handed over here, which is somewhat going to be present on the top of the thighs as well. But you really need to be looking at it. Now give the lizard a hug. Godzilla's Godzilla and his chest overall, they're going to match perfectly. That milkier tannish brown really does hit something significant on this figure, and I love that it's not a murky void of something or a yellowish green jog strap stain after a good workout. And I really do love that it's going to be present on the underside of Godzilla's pits and his arms and even into his hands. Good stuff, alrighty. We're gonna see more of that bluish green looking paint on Godzilla's shoulder blade, but wow, look at all that detail, that armor platedness. Fire. Yeah, Hiya did a damn good job with detailing on this figure for sure. And now for Godzilla's neck, which will be loaded with details, and I love that little highlight on the gills. They look like Hiya were saying, we know they're there. Look at this highlight. Isn't that nice? And I positively dig it. Look at all the details on those things. It must be intentional because it's like that on both sides. So, huzzah. Don't worry, we're going to save Godzilla's head for later. Goji head. We're actually going to double back to the underside of Godzilla's tail, which is going to have that underbelly paint, but the closer it gets to the body, it does get a little less brighter and a bit darker. And it seems like the closer it gets to the body, the less it really kind of matches the underbelly, but this piece does. I don't know. I thought that was weird. I don't know, if you look at the sides of this part of the tail, it almost looks like it's missing a bit of paint. So, yeah. And now we can talk about what everybody's talking about, Godzilla's grill and his eyes. Yeah, Godzilla's teeth are probably the weakest part about this release. Thankfully, it's also the smallest part about this release. And his eyes are situated in a way where it kind of looks like he's trying to look at his nose. Yeah, it's a bit goofy. Yeah, Hiya have done eyeballs small like this much better in the past. But I can at least say they're both pointing in the same direction. It's mostly the teeth I'm not super duper crazy about. I don't mind the mayonnaise and ketchup coloration, it's more so just how they were painted. And the teeth feel kind of smaller when looking at them on the figure versus what they look like on the box. Here's the figure, there's the box, and there's a close-up of the box. Here's the figure, and there's the box, and there's a close-up of the box. So detail is going to be a very easy solid star for me because detail-wise, this guy absolutely rocks. It's paint where I'm going to come up a little bit mixed. I love love the paint on the body. I love the variation of it. I love the underbelly paint. So all of that's going to get a solid star because I dig it. And then we have the head. Don't get me wrong. The head is beautifully detailed, as is the inside of the mouth with the tongue. Yeah, I didn't talk about the tongue, but look at that guy. He's got a bit of a dusted color on there, and you can actually see the details. Sick. And admittedly, when I look at the figure from the front, I'm not really looking at his eyes. I'm kind of just looking at his teeth. He's got a bit of a brown nose. Not sure what happened at the end of the day when it came to the teeth. They're definitely bigger on the box than they are on the figure, and I definitely would have preferred that over what we got. Membrane and tongue paint are going to get a solid star. Eyes, I will give a half a star, and the teeth I'm going to give a bit of tough love with an X. But you want to hear something crazy? Like, this is some groundbreaking shit. Despite the teeth, despite the slightly goofy looking eyes, I still really do like this figure. Honestly, it's really just nice to have an articulated 2014 figure back on the market. Because SH Monster Arts and NECA, definitely not on the market anymore. And if we know Hiya, they improve in between releases. So if you're really put off by the eyes and the teeth, wait for the Heat Ray version. Size comparisons. Shokugan, movie again. Hiya again. Oh my god, look, he's so tiny. NECA, SH Monster Arts, King Series, HG, Finger Puppets. And here is the box, and yes, I know it is blue and not red, and yes, it is a bit jarring because we're all so used to Godzilla 2014 anything having a red box or banner or whatever. It's still a lovely box. Again, jarring, blew his house with the blue little window and the blue Corvette, yeah, absolutely, but still a nice box. Would have been nicer in red. There, I said it. Now it's time for some articulation. Now, to show off the first bit of articulation, I actually have to decapitate Godzilla. I'm sorry, because I gotta show y'all that Godzilla actually got a neck upgrade. So we're gonna get a ball joint at the base of the neck and at the very top of the neck as well. This is actually going to allow Godzilla to look from side to side and even a bit further down versus other figures by Hiya. So let's just get those flaps back on, give him a little bit of head. Yeah. Godzilla can look pretty far up before the flaps start showing, and he can actually look down now thanks to that second ball joint over here. I mean, he's not looking all the way down, but it's definitely not neutral. See? The mouth can open and close. Tongue, ab crunch. We're also going to get an ab swivel all the way around. Yep, you'll be able to move from side to side and all the way around there as well. The legs can swivel all the way around at the waist. And we're gonna get a hell of a bend at this knee. Look at this. Ooh, yeah, I love that. Bit of a swivel at the upper knee, full swivel at the lower knee, full swivel at the ankle over here. Can move down and up about that far. Little bit of a pivot. Yeah, tail-wise, I don't believe too much has changed. I mean, the tail is thinner as it gets closer to the tip, and we do get a rather nice curve from the tail all the way to the tip. I mean, just look at that. Yes. You'll get your segmented swivels and such, ball joints. They can move up and down and all the way around. I guess I'm just really impressed with the tail tip over here because it doesn't fall off when I move it, and its range of movement ain't too bad either. Cool. And now for these upgraded arms. Godzilla at the shoulders can move his arms out about that far, which is pretty dang good, and then right back in. We'll get a full swivel at the shoulder blade over here. And as you can see, Hiya now separates their arms into 3 major pieces before getting to the hand. We're gonna have a bicep section over here, which will allow for, yes, you guessed it, a swivel. And get ready for this, a bend. You're gonna get a bend here and a bend there, and it's awesome. So of course that means we're going to get a swivel at the forearm over here, nice and smooth. The hands haven't changed much. You will be able to swivel them all the way around and move them up and down. Oh yeah, speaking of which, let's get those hands off and give Goji the grippers. This one, it's a bit on the tight side, bro. So you can give Godzilla the fist, the cuffs, and, just like Energized Godzilla, he can dual-wield weaponry. Woke up this morning, you got yourself a gun. Worth the delay? I think so. Articulation? It's gonna get a solid star from me. And now, posability. These little upgrades to the arms, and to the legs, and to the neck, it almost feels weird knowing that I've lived my entire Hiya Toys collecting arc of my life without them. The head and the neck can move a lot more organically and a lot less like you're fighting with it. The arms with the double bend going on, and the knees and the waist, and oh my god. I am so glad
the Godzillas to follow this guy will be sporting these changes. I can't say for sure about the neck just yet. This is grand. This is lovely. I am so glad Hiya went back to the drawing board on these and gave him a bit of an upgrade. Just next time, Hiya, please tell us so we're not sitting here wondering. I had so much fun posing this guy by himself with the female Muto. Here's to hoping a male Muto isn't too far out.
And now, HMA versus Hiya. Now, this is a pretty one-sided conversation because one figure was made with the digital files, the other one was not. It's just overall, in terms of quality, I think one figure looks better than the other. It's really only until you get to the heads, the eyes, the mouths overall, where this conversation becomes a bit messier. Again, SH Monster Arts, or Yuji Sakai, I believe, didn't have the digital files to work off of, so bro just said, alright, I'll do it myself. Hiya, however, did. And unfortunately, when it comes to Godzilla 2014 on both sides, the eyes are a little to be desired on both sides, and the teeth are a little bit to be desired on both sides. And might be controversial, but I would take the strips over that. But then we move on over into NECA. I'm gonna be real, I have no idea what the fuck to say. I mean, Hiya definitely on the higher end here. Absolutely. I guess maybe NECA were working with an earlier model or something, or maybe not. Once again, once you make this about the heads, the mouths, and the eyes, these are two different kinds of battles to be fighting here. But detail-wise, I really do think Hiya takes the cake over NECA, for sure. For sure. Absolutely. Smaller than the average Hiya, bigger than the NECA and the SH Monster Arts. Until Hiya's latest with Hiya's first. Yeah, he is smaller than the standard Hiya Toys figure, and I do appreciate that. It'll keep him in scale with the female Muto and hopefully the eventual male Muto. How much bigger was Godzilla and KOTM and GVK versus 2014? Wasn't by that much, was it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not about the figure line flame wars anymore, honestly. And at the end of the day, if you're happy with what you get, this is what you get, you're happy, you win. I like Godzilla 2014. Yeah, he could use some work on the eyes and the teeth, and maybe Hiya will be able to do it. They've got quite a lot on their plate right now, and I hope everything goes their way. Now that being said, SH Monster Arts, new GareGoji? Maybe? Yeah, probably not. Keep it clean in the comments, fam, and don't miss me too much because Gemstone Movie Monster Series Megalon's showing up tomorrow. Peace.